بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شرع لكم من الدين ما وصى به نوحا والذي أوحينا إليك وما وصينا به إبراهيم وموسى وعيسى أن أقيموا الدين ولا تتفرقوا فيه كبر على المشركين ما تدعوهم إليه الله يجتبي إليه من يشاء ويهدي إليه من ينيب. Brothers and sisters, our viewers and listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is very nice to be part of a gathering where people get together to listen and to reflect and hopefully to recommit themselves to values that can make their struggles in life more enhancing, more sublime, and that could bring them closer and closer to that which is in their best interest. And this is one of the forums in society. And you could imagine the opportunity it presents us and the great waste of time that it would be if we just come and we appear to listen, but we do not take away the essence and the substance to enrich ourselves, our families, and the communities we're part of. Last week, I started out talking about the new world order of every messenger and of Prophet Muhammad. And I mentioned that a fact of life is that all the messengers of Allah brought the deen of Allah, highlighted the deen of Allah, highlighted the divine social order that people were expected to subscribe to support, to establish, and through that to enhance themselves, their families and their communities, and to perform magnificent services to their fellow human beings. I mentioned that none of the messengers of Allah brought the social order that had their name enshrined in it. None of them told their people that they are the heroes of this social order. None of them. But if you look at all the peoples of religion, they have changed it. They've changed the social order of Allah. They've made it religion, and they have made the messengers of Allah the heroes of the social order. To such an extent that they are so obsessed about the messenger of every age. They are obsessed in the sense it is enough to hear that a certain messenger of that time said that, and all the human senses were made to go on the ground. Why? Because once you hear the messenger said that, Jesus said that, Moses said that, Abraham said that, Noah said that, Mohamed said that, how dare you stand up? What we fail to realize that Muhammad was the messenger of Allah. Moses was the messenger of Allah. Jesus was the messenger of Allah. Abraham was the messenger of Allah. Noah was the messenger of Allah. They were messengers of loftiness, stupidity, backwardness, oppression, stagnation, ignorance, human catastrophe associated with them. But if you go to all the religions of the world today that claim a relationship with Muhammad, with Jesus, with Moses, with Abraham and Noah, what do you find? You find atrocities. You find oppression. You find darkness. You find stagnation. You find miseries executed in the name of the messages that these messengers brought on the human beings at large. The world order that the beloved Prophet Muhammad brought was to call you and me back to the deen of Allah. The world order that the Prophet brought was to call you and me back to the deen of Allah. Because we assume that we are part of the deen of Allah because of where we come from. And that's the biggest falsehood that covers the eye and prevents the human being from seeing. The moment you believe you're a Muslim because you're born in a Muslim home and you have an Arabic or an Urdu or a Persian sounding name, or you wear certain kind of dresses, or you do certain kinds of actions, of let us say, physical actions, not deeds, but just actions, you go through certain motions that you're a Muslim, you have missed the whole essence of divine guidance. And the biggest stumbling block in talking to people, talking to Christians. Christians have abandoned the lofty message of Jesus. The lofty message of Jesus is God is one. And they've taken that literally as Muslims have. The sovereign of the universe is one. The divine system is one. The standard of goodness and loftiness and human enhancement is one. That is synonymous with Allah. Everybody cannot have their own explanation and interpretation where they shatter the principles of divine loftiness in human society and yet claim to be people who follow the message of this prophet and that prophet. So the prophets all brought, according to chapter 42, which is importantly titled Shura. And I told you last week, if you're a member of a family and you just wake up in the morning and you go to work and you come to bed and you do not interact with your family, you do not care about the family, you have no input, you're just a number in the home, you're like a guest, whether you pay or you don't pay. There are many people who live in homes like that. You are not a family. If you're a member of a society and you just go in and you go out, you show your face, as we say, but your life is not such where it makes a difference in that society, then you are not really behaving like a unit of that society. Shura means to participate actively. Shura means that you should not allow people to confiscate your rights. Shura means that you should not put your responsibility on others. How many of us don't do that? This is a tradition Muslims have inherited. The average Muslim in the average family, in the average community, in the average masjid and centers and institute, they put their burdens on others. They're not part of the enhancement of society. Why? They grew up in communities which has Maulana, which has Sheikh, which has Imam, which has Mufti, who do all the works for them.